So we all agree Kon Knueppel is the rookie of the year.
Kon Knueppel, I don't watch Hornets games.
Try not to laugh.
No.
You think?
Like,
No.
Who you think?
Cooper Flagg is
Flagg.
clear. Kon
No,
Knueppel. Yes. I saw stats the other day that he's has the most I don't know if it's 20-point games since rookie Lebron. It's just not. He's clear.
Kon Knueppel is the fastest rookie, or just the fastest NBA player to get 100 feet. Let's think about that.
I think he's a good second. He's a cool little second, but
I
don't
agree with
Cooper
that.
Flagg isn't even in my top 5. Like, I don't know what
Cooper
you
Flagg
guys
isn't even in my top 5.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Like, he's not even in my top 5.
Can you even name me 5 rookies?
No.
Who's your rookie of the year, though?
Dude, my rookie of the year, I actually don't know. Because, like, okay, BJ Edgecombe, he, at the start, showed he could be really good. Then he started...
He's been pretty inconsistent.
We had DJ Edgecombe to play good.
He's
been picking it up lately, but he won't get it. Cooper Flagg will take the rookie of the year.
I think Kon Knueppel. No, you will because like media.
Oh yeah, media.
First overall pick, but also Kon Knueppel has been the Hornets' best player. I mean,
that's
so real.
very true. That's
LaMelo's
very
been
true.
really inefficient, injury prone,
should be true.
and when you think that Kon Knueppel has been efficient, very like scoring, showing flashes of his scoring, right? Just like overall been like the dream fit that they could have had. That's the rookie.
I think if they build the team around Kon Knueppel, like they're gonna be really good. But right now,
like
he's been really good.
How do we see Kon Knueppel going? What you say?
I say it's a good example. He's gonna be like a
Mini Clay.
yeah,
I guess
a little mini Clay.
Because,
Yeah, a little mini Clay, but a little more.
Again, I don't watch Hornets games.
But he can be like a little bit more of a leader, like in terms of he can maybe be closer to a first option. Clay would never have been a first option. He could be closer to a
I
first
think he
option.
is going to be.
But he can't be a first option.
I think he will be. That's not okay.
I don't think Kon's gonna be a first. I think, like I
I
said,
think he can if the Hornets build a team, but the Hornets will never build a good team. So,
True, right.
so he will be a second option.
Now, we seeing Cooper Flagg.
Cooper Flagg, I think he can be a first option.
I
I think
Cooper Flagg right now,
what I've seen
actively
from
is
his
a-
games, from the games I've watched, he's playing alongside Anthony Davis, and he still looks very comfortable. He's playing point guard, which is that's
Loki,
hella weird.
he's been helping him just a bit. Like I think when he plays into the forward position, it's obviously his natural position. That's why he starts like developing. But the point guard's been helping him to like actually play. Right? So he can like get to the rim and just pass out more comfortably without touching the ball.
I mean, to me in general, I think he's like for the Mavs, he's been somewhat of a first option. Like AD's not that as reliable. Like he's more consistent. Maybe like obviously he's a veteran player. There's a bunch of like other things, and he still kind of is, but he's super injury prone. Like again, I don't know how truthful this is, but I saw a video of this guy who took a clip and he counted how many times he like AD got injured in like a clip, and it was like 3 times where he like held something where he got injured. Like obviously that's not his fault. He's been like poorly managed sometimes when it comes to his injuries. And obviously, as you get older and you're, in that position, you obviously are more likely to get injury prone. But I think, obviously, as of right now, Cooper Flagg is a more reliable option. So I think just right now, I would see him as that number 1 option until like the team gets a little bit more healthier and maybe someone else takes that position. Because obviously, putting number 1 the role for a rookie is really hard. I mean, like obviously we saw it in LeBron when he went to the Cavs. He was a number 1. He was the number 1 option, but like still, he couldn't. He's still the greatest, and he was still really good for that Cavs team, but obviously he needed that people to help him to still be there. And like obviously I think the Mavs they don't have a really good roster, obviously with a bunch. But like healthy, if they're all like on paper, they have a really good roster. And I think obviously once they have a very healthy roster, he's not going to be the first option. But I think as of right now, as we're looking at the Mavs, he is their first option. Like that's why I think he probably does like genuinely have it above like most players in the league. Most rookies in the league, I mean, he has it above Kon Knueppel. BJ Edgecombe, again, like I said, he was, like at the start, he's shown the glimpses of being really, really good, but he's like fallen off a little bit. He's coming back up into that trend, but obviously, like, he's like not the top one. And I think Cooper Flagg, obviously, Cooper Flagg was like the opposite. He started off not doing that well. People were like, obviously, jumping to conclusions, calling him a bust. But obviously, like, he just had to get that rhythm. He was playing a point guard, not his natural position, but just kind of like. It also has to do somewhat with Jason Kidd just putting him there. But obviously they're short-handed when it comes to point guards because they traded their somewhat natural point guard in Luka.
Kyrie's gone.
Kyrie's injured. Like they don't really have
D'Lo.
And relying on D'Lo isn't relying on D'Lo as your main point guard isn't like the best idea. So I think obviously that's why to me, aside from media, obviously from media, it has something to plays a role. But
He
aside
will
from
with
media,
it.
he does take it.
Yeah,
Cooper Flagg at 6.
Look, it's not like you guys are wrong, because in theory, yes, like the media will vote Cooper Flag, the bias and everything. And I do think he does have a production to like back it up. But I think the reason I have Kon Knueppel as number 1 right now is because he's been consistent since day 1, right? He's been amazing. Like, I hasn't stopped being the best player on this team. But also because on the first week, for example, VJ Edgeco on the first week was Rookie of the Year. But then he slowed off. Similar to Cooper Flagg, who wasn't Rookie of the Year at the beginning because he was slow. But then you see Kon Knueppel, he's been steady the entire season. Again, like I don't think I've seen Kon Knueppel like hit a rough patch and get to see it. He's been consistently shooting lights out, and that's why I believe he's been Rookie of the Year. Because until we see him slow down in actuality and we just continue with like this level of performance, I don't think any rookie has been. Because even Cooper Flagg at his highs still pretty inconsistent. Honestly, hasn't fully realized a set level of consistency for himself and his production. So that's why I believe Kon Knueppel.
That's not ridiculous to say. I don't think. Like,
Yeah, it's not ridiculous. I don't. No argument.
Cooper Flagg at 6.
Cooper Flagg is okay. General bias. Cooper Flagg here.
Okay.
Kon Knueppel. But okay. Second question we have over here, ladies and gentlemen. What teams are away from contention with just a few trades?
Oh, in contention.
Can be in contention with just a couple trades. I'll go first.
Yeah, you will.
The Warriors.
Okay, dude.
No. Listen, I think the Warriors will never win. They won't win the championship because OKC's too good and like virtual. But if you add a solid center, which they can, they have the assets. That's the thing that Golden State has in comparison to a championship. They have picks and they have assets.
I think the main problem with them is they have a lot of young players, which isn't the problem.
Yeah.
It's the GM. He has a problem with kind of letting them go.
Yes.
And then if they do develop into these all-stars, it's like, wow, we could have had them be these all-stars. And like, obviously, I get it, but that's the point of like taking that trade, taking that gamble. Obviously, you have Stephen Curry, who's kind of in a win-now position. Jimmy Butler's also kind of in that situation. Who else? Al Horford. They have Al Horford, which again, like, he's not reliable. He's old. He's and he's actually been mostly injured this season. I think.
Post been playing what he was supposed to do.
Obviously, and although he's good for veteran experience, to have someone there who's a veteran who has a championship, who has gone through the motions, been bad, been good, been into the playoffs, been out, has had rough losses. I think he's not a bad addition, but they still need to make those trades, which. Like, I think it's not, like, outrageous to say that they could be into contention. They're obviously, I don't think they would have to do, like, amazing level trades to even, like, think about winning a championship. I think if they do the right trades, they can have a deep playoff run. Obviously, we have OKC in the West. They're not, like, the best, They are the best. I mean, like, they have the best offense, one of the best defenses, They're just overall a really good team. And I think just... in general, they might go back-to-back, and it's really hard to see them. Like, I think if they get past the West, they could easily beat anybody in the East. I doubt anybody in the East can do it. Like, there's not good teams that could really beat them. I think they still have to just get past it. Like, in the East, there's not. I also don't think there's many that are the good trades away from getting into playoff contention. There's some that it's mostly because of injuries. Most players there have injuries. Most of those teams are weakened due to injuries. So. Unless you want to take a gamble and trade players who are injured just to get a win-now option, then, it doesn't make sense. Like, in the East, I don't see anybody. I think in the West, most players are fine. There's nobody else. Yeah, aside from the
Lakers could make a good trade.
Yeah. I think it's mostly in the West. Where
the Lakers can make a good trade because they have no
assets. Right?
They have nobody to trade.
If
the Lakers had assets... They could make the conference finals, but they're not going to get past the second round, unfortunately.
Yeah, because the Lakers right now, the problem is that Luka has laid the blueprint of what he needs on the team, right? Yeah. He needs solid wings alongside a big man that can dominate, and like defensively and offensively, catch jobs and everything. And obviously his second option. But in this instance, what was supposed to be the second option was LeBron. Austin Reaves has taken that matchup for the season, right? LeBron has kind of taken a step back. I won't say he's the problem per se, but it's more so that what the expectation was from last season was LeBron was second all NBA. He was really good. So now that he's taken that step back, I feel like the potential can't be as realized as compared to last season.
The other problem is that your best wing on the Lakers is a 41-year-old LeBron. LeBron's still all-star level talent.
He's also their best defender.
Their best defender, and that's a problem. Well, Jared Vanderbilt's on the team, but the problem is he's a
doesn't
pumpkin on offense.
Exactly.
Like, he literally cannot do anything. His value on offense is such a negative.
That
And the
guy
Lakers
can't-
have nobody else, and that's a problem. But if they were able to trade for somebody, they'd be really get fun.
But I want to go back to the Warriors for a couple seconds because this is why I wanted to mention it.
The problem with the Warriors is Curry is dropping 47 points on a game, and they're still losing. And that will not be fixed in one trade.
You're right. That's why I propose a multiple trade deadline for the Warriors. I think that the Warriors have the assets in order to get at least 2 big trades done, and
That's
those trades can at least go from 3 centers. Because as for the media right now, the Warriors have publicized that they're looking for 3 centers: Claxton, Gafford, and Will Richard. Well, not Will Richard. What was the guy on the Blazers?
And
It is what it is.
forgot his name.
Yeah, but practically, there's 2 centers right there that could at least benefit to allow the Warriors balance, which is like rebounding, second-hand finishing. And in my opinion, I think if they get Gafford for his contract, it allows them to get the second trade done, which could be a really good player. And with that really good player, it can span from many things. They can get Trey Murphy, they can get Herb Jones, they can get Michael Porter Jr. Trey Murphy, like for example, can really elevate the squad both defensively and offensively, and it would be that score that they're really missing. Because, for example, they have Kuminga running on the bench, making money. We can talk about it, but making money for a player that's supposed to be a scorer for them.
Yeah.
Right now, Jimmy Butler, in my opinion, can be a second option, but there's going to be nights where he's not going to be really good at scoring, right? Because he's going to be that passive playmaker at times. So if you give Jimmy Butler that third scoring type of guy, you can really bloom as the second option. You can maximize it. We've seen that when he's on, he's on. Recently, he's been really good.
So Butler's not old enough to like give up yet.
Exactly.
He's still,
he's still 36. He's still got it.
He's still got a little bit.
So that's why I believe that the Warriors, with set pieces, can make it to contention. I don't think championship because truth be told they're too old for it, but they can make it.
I think second round is conference finals is a bit of a stretch.
I
But
see.
second round is very possible with a good trades.
With good trades and matchups, if they get like good matchups up to the Western Conference, they could make it hypothetically.
But if they face off, as long as they don't find themselves in a path with OKC.
Denver, like if they go against the Rockets, right? The Rockets been a really weird team this season. Like they've been good.
I could see the Rockets fumbling.
I could see that. The Spurs could be inexperienced.
The Spurs are inexperienced. So how many playoff series has De'Aaron Fox played?
One.
So that's their most experienced guy
out of everyone. So it shows that with the Warriors a good run and matchups wise they could. But again, that's far fetched. I just think that some trades. The Lakers, as you mentioned, I believe the Lakers would have the highest ceiling if they had the assets, but they don't have the assets.
I think that I wouldn't. If I was the Pistons, I wouldn't do anything because they're doing really good.
They don't work.
But if they were, for whatever reason, I wouldn't recommend it, but if they were to trade, I think they could easily make the finals. If they could trade for another piece with a lot of their young guys, trade for a win now player, they would make the finals. At least the conference finals against the Knicks, because nobody else in the East is contending.
Yeah,
the Magic are fake.
Okay, I want to say one more thing. I think the Wolves are a team that they have to finalize the defense. Because it's like, the problem with the Wolves, they do this every season. Last season, they were really mediocre. And then they got to the 6th seed. Yeah, they got 6th seed. And then they got to the conference. Maybe, yes, there was some, like, injury luck, with the Warriors, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they still had a good chance of winning that no matter what. So, I say that if the Wolves truly... Because, for example, Wolves are reliant on 2 guards that are literal pumpkins. You have Rob Dillingham, and they have Mike Conley. They are lemons.
I heard they were trying to look for James Harden, which honestly, that would be huge.
That would be huge, but I don't think they're getting. Like, I think if they could get like a Darius Garland,
that'd be beautiful.
Pretty nice deal. Then that.
I think but like in general, like I think the Timberwolves are kind of that niche. Like not niche, they're not niche. They're pretty decent. I mean, we saw them. It was an upset, but we saw them beat the OKC, and like it took a lot from Ant to both on both sides of the court, not just. And, like, also, Rudy Gobert, your starting center is kind of a pumpkin on offense.
He also is
and, like, on defense, he's good, but, we've seen times where, he's easily cooked,
Yeah, you got Julius Foulias as well.
Julius Randle and Dante
the whole world for 2 years.
Like, fooled everybody. I really thought he was that guy for
and Dante, and, like, they're not, like, horrible players, but they're also, not the best, Like, Dante DiVincenzo has that 3-point shooting, but other than that, it kind of falls off. He can't handle, and he kind of, he wins off those screens where he kind of can get open shots. And that's how you kind of get him to run. And then Jaden McDaniels, but
I think the Wolves have somewhat similar to the Warriors, where it's they're two defensive anchors, Draymond and Rudy, are low-key just not great offensively, and they're actually really negative. So what I believe they could do, if they could minimize the roles, right? For example, the Wolves can get another center that's just at least two-way, in a sense, for example, like a Claxton, right? If they can get a Claxton or another center to minimize Rudy's role to the bench, and that way they don't have to, they can have another center, so they don't have to use Rudy to when sometimes Rudy is sabotaging them on offense, right? Because sometimes Rudy
hurts.
Similarly to Draymond, with Draymond's just forcing passes because he's a great playmaker, the best playmaker, but he's turning the ball 24/7. If you can minimize his role to another wing, right, that is also a defensive impact, then you at least have the offense rolling better and still have that defensive presence on the bench. So I think those are two teams that if they rework at least their starting lineups and add specific tools, they can definitely be contenders. Now, I think we talked about contendership with these teams a lot, but I'm not done with trades. I want to discuss the biggest trade of them all. How does the Giannis trade change the landscape of the NBA?
I don't think he'll get traded.
But
if he were traded, I don't see him going to the West because he would probably want to be in a win-now situation.
Yeah.
So if he would go somewhere else in the East,
where would he go to?
That I heard Bulls, Hawks, and another team I'm forgetting now. So.
I think if he goes anywhere there, I don't think that's what I mean.
If he goes to those teams, yes, they'll probably make the conference finals. Probably.
I think I want to give my general authentic take on the Giannis thing. I believe that anyone that truly trades for Giannis will ruin their chances at contention. That might seem crazy, right? Hey, I'm just being honest. I think, maybe not contention per se. They will be contenders. The problem is that they will ruin their future.
That's true.
They will ruin their future. Okay. That's why I believe that teams such as the Spurs, right? They've shown that they're already a top team in the West, right? Why trade for Giannis?
Yeah, if you're a Spurs, you don't trade for Giannis.
Why trade your assets, right, for a 30-year-old Giannis that
he's still good, but he's injury prone. He'll be gone in 3 years.
3 years, right? His play style is very physically demanding, right? So you can't really trust Giannis of all players to stay consistently healthy. Right, and he will produce, obviously, but then you have to take into account how he fits within the system. Because we saw how here in Dame, it worked, but it wasn't as
good as everyone thought. I thought it was going to dominate.
I thought they won the championship, but they traded for Dame. I'm not lying.
I thought that's true.
I think just in general, the Giannis trade, it really just depends on the team that trades them and what they want to do with him. Because obviously right now we see with the Bucks, obviously he's running most of the offense. You're trying to trust Kyle Kuzma as your main point guard. Isn't the best idea just in general. And that's his main point guard. Obviously,
Kuzma to put up 20 a night.
Then they traded for Miles Turner, which again he isn't a really bad center, and you can put Giannis in the power forward position. But then obviously he has nights where he's not going to shoot too well. He has also nights where he might not play really well defensively, and he just has those nights where he's just absolutely a cone on both sides.
He's just not that guy.
And he's just not that guy to also have as your starting center. At least I wouldn't see it. I think in the Pacers, he just because of the ball handling there and the ability of just the multiple guards they had, kind of helped them shine a little bit more than what was expected of him now in the Bucks. Because again, Kyle Kuzma is your starting point guard. It is not a good situation when you have Kyle Kuzma as your starting point guard.
You mean forward, right?
Forward?
Yeah, forward.
Or forward, or I don't know,
Kevin Porter Jr. and Ryan Rollins.
Ryan Rollins, he's been good.
He's been real good.
Ryan Rollins has been good, and he's someone who took a leap, and he's taken a good position in he's in the starting lineup, right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, in the starting lineup.
Kevin Porter
and
I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, no, really.
And there's some people on that team where obviously they're not you're asking them to be a second option to provide offensively. Before Ryan Rollins, before he took that leap, before he was able to provide offensively, you had Kyle Kuzma. You were asking Kyle Kuzma to kind of be a second option in a way, where it was
last year when I thought they were gonna make good moves, in the offseason. Yeah, and then they signed Kuzma. I was like, they're not serious. They're not serious.
Either they trade Giannis, either they trade for the Bucks. I see it also as a Bucks. We think about all the teams and how they could be contention, how they could maybe win a championship, but as the Bucks, if they are gonna trade Giannis, which I doubt they will, I think they're gonna keep that man there till he's 40. If they do want to trade Giannis away, and they have to just immediately start rebuilding, like trade away most of their pieces, just to get a lot of future draft picks, a lot of like future or young players, so they can develop those young players and kind of go back into contention. I think if you do trade Giannis, if I'm the Bucks at least, if I trade Giannis, I'm not gonna trade for a bunch of win now players to try to get one last chip before I have to start rebuilding. I start rebuilding the moment he leaves the Bucks. Because if you start trying to go for these like win now players, once they get too old, it's harder to trade them away. It's harder to kind of get a good package for them. It's just overall harder, and then you're just left with kind of like what you had. So I think if you do trade for Giannis, if you do, I think again the Bucks are not going to trade for Giannis. They're going to try to do their most to kind of keep him there. Giannis is not satisfied with what the Bucks are doing right now, but they are going to try to keep him there the best way they can. Even if they sign his entire family, even if his dad. Like, again, they're gonna try to keep him there, and I think just if you do trade him, again, I'm gonna reiterate my point. If you do trade him, you get a bunch of draft picks, you get a bunch of young players. They can kind of just, in general, be there. Because like, if not, you're cooked.
My fault, dude. I said so wrong.
Okay, well, we'll go inside if we have to go. Okay, back to it. Yeah, the Bucks just not gonna let go of Giannis. He's a cash cow. He makes them money. We have to go inside. He's a cash cow. He makes them a lot of money. It's the same thing with any star. It's just like you wouldn't want to trade your best, like your franchise guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I think Giannis, in my opinion, like I've already mentioned, I think whatever team trades for him will, at the end of the day, always contend, maybe make a finals. But I can never trust him to, like, truth be told, guarantee win a championship or, you know, be safe for the future. I think, well, any team, like I mentioned, that trades for Giannis, really they deplete their assets. Because besides the Luka trade, every trade has like demonstrated that if you want a certain player, you have to like cut the farm. You need to do, like, you have to sell every pick, every player, everything.
Gobert is 4
first-round picks. So it's just not, I don't see it happening. I really don't see it happening. He's not going to get traded, but if he were to ever get traded, we'll probably be, oh, wow, we're scared of this team, right? Like, for example, if the Knicks got it, I don't think the Knicks are going to get him because they don't have assets. Let's say, okay, never mind. Let's say the Atlanta gets him, right? Oh, wow, Atlanta got Giannis. Wow. And then, you know, their team is fighting for the years upon because they trade Jalen Johnson or something like that.
It's Atlanta. Off topic, but Atlanta should never trade Jalen Johnson.
They should. He's their best player.
Best player.
He's been amazing. He's going to be all-star. He's, like, very promising player.
I think just, like, right now, Loki, you start considering, like, your future with Trae Young.
Loki in the East,
now that
he's an
Jalen
all-star
Johnson.
starter.
What?
Loki in the East, he's an all-star starter.
Nah, that's fine.
Yeah. I think now you start considering what you do in the future with Trae Young, with Porzingis as well. I don't even know. I feel like, again, I don't even know why they
Loki got him for not that much. I think
they got him for potato chips, but like still, like he's a player that obviously they expected him to provide for its offense and just overall provide for the team as in their starting lineup. And again, we saw flashes of him being that guy in the Boston Celtics team, but like again, he was still very injury prone even in that year. He was super injury prone the next year. He's super injury prone now. I don't think he's played. Like that's how bad it is. I don't remember.
It's not even. It's sickness. He's been sick.
And he's been sick. There's
been. I forgot what it's called, but this disease called POTS. I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
But it's like it's part of his career.
He has a bunch of like not aside from injury, sickness. He's just a guy that you can't. He's not reliable. Like aside from if he could control it or not, he's not reliable.
I find it crazy that he got injured in the Celtics run. Like the first couple of games in the first round, they went to the finals, played good for one game, died again, and they still won the chip.
Yeah.
That just kind of like obviously he was providing a lot, especially in that first game. He was providing a lot to the offense. He was being really good. He set the tone, but still, it just kind of showed you that like, you know, I wouldn't want to say that we didn't need him. I think there were certain situations we. I don't think that the Celtics really needed him, but like.
You think you need an Achilles?
Yeah.
For Jason Tatum?
Yeah, I think. I think so, but you know.
Do you think we need a left hand?
Yeah.
For Jalen Brown?
Yeah,
do you think we need hair for Derek White?
No. That one I don't think we need it. I think he can stay bald. I think he's fine.
What about Jordan Wall?
He has a condition. He has a condition. You're terrible. You're terrible.
Okay.
And then we also have Anthony Simmons, by the way. Like, just he's
oh my god,
like,
he's bad, bro. He's terrible.
Like, that was horrible. Like
2 years ago, I thought it was gonna be really good.
I told myself every year. Yeah, Anthony Simmons.
This year.
No, but just in general.
Okay.
I think the Giannis trade isn't happening.
It's not. Yeah, you're right. It's not happening. But I think, truthfully told, it's going to be one of the more impactful trades.
It probably will.
There's a star player that's won multiple MVPs.
There's always trade talks, though. Like,
no, there's always trade talks here, but it's just like, you're never going to know when it happens.
Yeah.
Same with Luka.
And when it happens, it's gonna be big.
It's gonna be
I think the problem with Luka, there was never a rumor. Like,
Yeah, Luka was in the
was
moment.
ridiculous.
I remember where I was right when that happened. Oh, my God.
you want to know where I was? I was in the kitchen.
Of course. You don't want to know where I was. I can't even say it on camera.
Okay, so... No, I remember you told me, I was in my PC, right? This guy told me. And I was like, oh, you got Seth, you're stupid. And I'm like, no, he got hacked, right? And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. I'm like, no.
No, I remember I was in, so because I was like connected, like I had my headphones on, and I was looking at my phone. I don't know where but I was there, and then I see the trade, and I'm like, I scream, like, Marcos, Luka just traded. I think you already know. But as I was saying, he just got freaking traded. He just got flipping traded. And obviously, Marcos didn't believe me. I think Joshua was also involved.
No, you don't want to know where I was. But I remember when I saw it, and then I joined the call, I was like, what?
Oh, wow.
That's just one of those... That's one of those things where, like, obviously he was in the moment. That's why it was also, like, obviously, even if it wasn't in the moment.
I think that changed my brain chemistry.
Yeah.
A little bit. Like,
I was pondering, because, like, I was looking thinking about fantasy for a second, and this was the detriment or a very, like, pivotal moment for me. So I was like, is Luka going to be worse or better? He was worse. He was worse. But, hey, man, what can you do?
yeah.
Okay.
No.
Speaking of Luka, right? Will Luka Doncic ever win an MVP?
No.
Or a championship?
Oh.
No. An MVP? No. I don't see it. I think just the way he's been treated, I don't think, me personally, I would say he should have won.
Oh, you mental, lad.
Yes!
You're mental.
I understand where he's coming.
I understand where you're coming from,
not just because I think that. I don't think. I think he should have won it at some point.
Well, he should have won it in 24.
I think he should have won it, and I think he could win it. I just think overall, the way the media, in a way, has kind of treated him, I don't think he's going to win. Just because of the media. Like, obviously, the media is, again, an important factor when it comes to these votes. Because, like, obviously, we have Stephen Curry winning the unanimous MVP, when LeBron could have won it way before, just because of one guy who decided to vote for Carmelo Anthony, knowing LeBron would have won.
Happened to Shaq as well, bro.
Yeah,
And happened to Shaq. I'm not just saying LeBron, but LeBron is LeBron.
No, but I get LeBron.
But, like, again, my point being, that's something that could happen way before, but obviously media, not people kind of, just in general. But just, I think, like, Luka, he's right now top 3, I think, right? He's top 3 in MVP voting. Or, like, favorite to win.
He's the top 3
I think he's below Jokic
and
Shea. Now, this is going to sound ridiculous, but Jokic has been averaging the same thing, the same triple-double season. He's been averaging it a lot, and people keep trying to give him credit for, like, I feel like, in general, he is a tall center who has some decent playmaking ability, and which makes sense. I think decent. Yes, I'm putting him down. He has decent playmaking ability, and obviously, okay, again, this is too much to ask from a center, but I think if you're 7 foot, getting around being very tall, you should have decent playmaking ability just in general, because you can see more of the court. Just in general, that's something you should do. That's just in general. For me, that's something that should happen. And again, just in general, he's been averaging the same. I think the seeds also have a lot to do with him not being able to win it. He's on a Lakers team that I don't think will be close to a top seed.
The main problem here is if OKC continues their dominance for the next 10 years, then yes, what you're saying is true. And that there's a very real chance that OKC continues dominating for the next 10 years. But I believe voter fatigue will take into account Jokic, so Jokic is out of that conversation, and it'll be him versus Luka, and it'll be Shea versus Luka, and that all depends on OKC's how long they last. If they last 10 years, then I can see him not winning a chip or an MVP. But I don't think OKC will last till Luka's retirement. I think OKC will last around 5 years till all their big contracts expire. Yeah. Then they'll run out of money. I don't know how they still have money, but they'll run out eventually. And then he can win some.
There's also the problem where we have the LA Clippers. Like, again, your point, the LA Clippers have traded away their entire future for Paul George, who then pooped the bed. And now OKC has a bunch of those picks that are almost all of them unprotected.
OKC still has that Clippers pick this year.
Yeah, they still have the Clippers here this year, which is a top 5 pick already. And if they keep losing, it's gonna soon be a top 3 probably. And if they keep losing, it could be a top 1 pick.
And also, it's in the most stacked draft class of.
And it's one of the best classes. So no matter, it could be the top 5, it could be the 5th pick. They're still gonna get a good pick.
All the players are good.
All the players from this draft class are gonna be really good. They're gonna be super good. And just in general, I can still see them in the future getting those players that could maybe replace one or two of their. I don't think it's gonna be the same team. I don't think they're gonna be as dominant as they are right now. But they're still gonna have such a good team that I think the ball's going to keep rolling, and they're still going to keep being good for those 10 years.
I think Luka can go on a 2011 Dirk run one of them years.
I think his most likely chance...
26.
Yeah, that's why I said, like, when I heard just the MVP, I automatically answered no. But if we're including a championship, like, I think Luka has a chance. I think Luka has a chance. I think if Rob Pelinka can, again, going back to what we were talking about trades, if Rob Pelinka can do certain trades, he can get... Because Rob Pelinka, again, he really likes getting those agents that are like free agents or buy them out for some reason. He doesn't really like doing trades. He just kind of buys out people. And just in general, if he can get good trades, if he can get just good, decent defense and good pieces around Luka. Because Luka, obviously, also, it's just a problem he has. And he could be, you can ask a little bit more from him on defense. Like, obviously, that's not his main strong suit. But being an absolute cone isn't something that you can't work on. You can probably work on it and just be... not menacing, but get a better defensive identity, just in general. And I think that's obviously what's holding him back in a way, because he doesn't play the best defense. He's a cone on defense. And also, he's not the only one in the top 3. I think also Jokic has his times where he's a cone, and he doesn't really work as hard on defense. But just, in general, it's a thing that happens. And I think just that's why I would say no. I would say no, and maybe yes. Like, if you would need that, like a Dirk type run to win a championship.
I want to get my take on it. I think Luka, truth be told, the only reason I have confidence that he can win an MVP is age. When a guy is like 26, he can still and produce at the level he's doing. He was already averaging 35 before he got injured and dropped his stats, right? So I think even if technically he's not actually the best, like I don't think this is the best Luka season. I still think 24 is like his best year, right? But when you apply that he's still at least at that level of player at 26 with all the injuries, and he can still continue to either stay at that level for as long as 30-something. At some point in one of those years, something wrong is going to go for either MVP candidate, and he might win it. That's just how I see it. I think if he maintains that said level, no matter what, you can win MVP. But championship is a bit hard because I think there's so many contenders in every single team, and his team of the Lakers, it's not even just about making the right moves, making the trades, picking the right free agents. It's about the fact that they don't have the assets or a good future to get specific players to boost what Luka needs, for example, right? And when you consider the competition in the West, they have OKC who have 20 times a better future. They have Denver, who I wouldn't say their future is crazy, but they still have probably the most solid foundation right now for contenders as of right now. I believe Denver is the second best team. And then you apply other teams such as you still have the Wolves there, a young team relatively, and then Houston that is young besides KD, but at the end of the day, I think KD's just a rental and they can really get another guy in the future. And there's just so many other teams that overall benefit and have a better situation, both currently and for the future, that it leaves Luka in a state of, I believe if Luka were to win a championship, it would not be unfair. Being so complete. I generally think that he can't win on the Lakers because the Lakers front office won't allow it, and the situation that they're in, realistically, the best thing that they could do is trade Austin Reaves. Unfortunately,
that would be their best
if
option.
They want more assets, Austin Reaves is the guy to trade, and by that time, LeBron's gonna be old and retired, and it would be Luka and friends until they can get the assets. We're going to